Hello, appraisers. This is Brandon with Spark for Appraisers, and this is a video going over Synapse. And I'm making it because we've had a lot of calls lately with appraisers asking us why they're getting a message in Synapse that says time adjustments were turned off because it resulted in a negative sale price. So I'm going to show you exactly what we mean by that. And first to show you, I'm going to replicate that. So I'm going to go into Transactional Settings, which is where time adjustments take place. So transactional settings are where we handle things regarding the transaction, which is time, seller concessions, financing terms, and the time adjustments are handled in these charts. So basically, the time adjustment that Synapse is applying to every property is based on the trend line in black that you see. And so what we do is we have a bunch of different potential trend lines, and Synapse tries to match it up with the one that it thinks is the best. Usually it does a really good job of that, but not always. There are two situations that may take place that would cause Synapse to get mixed up. And by the way, I want to clarify that this will not be an issue in the new version. We have solved this in the new version, but for now, you need to be careful with time adjustments. So if you get that message, or honestly, if anytime you're getting weird results, a lot of the times when you're getting weird results, it's because the time adjustment that's applied here on the screen does not match the actual trend. And I'm going to show you some examples of that. So up here, I just uploaded 9 properties. Now, I'm not recommending that anyone ever just upload 9 properties to Synapse, but I just did this to kind of show you an example. When you have very limited data, it's hard for it to understand what the actual trend is. And so it might do something like this. Now, this is what Synapse did by default. So it didn't actually choose what I'm about to show you, but I'm showing you an example of where we would get that weird message about turning off time adjustments because of a negative sale price. So here. Now, if you look at what happened, because I chose polynomial 3, it's going through the data and it's trying to match it up. But then for this long period of time, there's no data. And at the last point, if I could zoom in on this, it would be declining. And so that decline starts to magnify and magnify and magnify, and then it gets down to here. And at this point, it's adjusting all of these 9 properties to the effective date, which is the end of the chart on the right. And when it does that, because this decline was so steep, it's getting down into the negative $900,000. So that would mean that the adjusted sale price of the properties is below zero. And that's not possible. A time adjustment should never take your sale price to below zero. So when that happens, Synapse recognizes that there's an issue and it pops up a message that says that time adjustments were turned off, which means where is it? Which means this. So no time adjustment. Time adjustments were turned off because one or more of the properties that you uploaded resulted in a negative sale price. And so when that happens, it knows that something's not right in the calculation, so it just turns it off. And it wants you to come to this screen and figure out the right thing to do. So I would come here, I would try linear, I would maybe try polynomial 2, and find the one that you think best reflects your market. So in this case, I'm just going to go with linear. Now, another way you can get weird adjustments is if you upload enough data, but the data stops way before your effective date. Now, this isn't the greatest example. Let's say the data instead was moved over to the left. So I had like 6 months of no data here. Then this trend line might end up doing something really funky and not actually following what the market's actually doing. So let's see if we can find an example here, like this. So if Synapse chose this, I would say, yeah, the market was declining, but I'm not sure it would decline that much. And so I would want to come in here, and this is an example where you might get funky results. If you get funky results, come in here, check out the trend line, and say, hey, you know what? That doesn't look right. I'm going to switch it to this, or whatever other one looks best. You can also just manually type in your own and say, I just want it to increase or decrease at whatever, X% per month. So I'm going to stick with the polynomial 3, but that was my example. Now I'm going to turn this back so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So let's go to this. This should result in these properties turning negative and you seeing that message. So let's see what happens. Here's that message. So it says the time adjustments for the following data sets resulted in a negative value. So the time adjustment has been turned off. Competing. That was the data set I uploaded that resulted in the negative value for one, at least for one or more of the properties. So when I see that message, I can click got it. I can go over here, go to my session settings and the transactional settings. That takes me back to this screen. Now, this, just like it told you, remember it looked like this when we left the screen, but it turned it off because it knew it was wrong. Whoops, sorry. It did this because it knew it was wrong. So I can go in here, say, you know what, this one best matches my market. I'm going to do that, hit done. And now everything is going to be recalculated based on that time adjustment for that set of data. Okay, that was a long-winded way of explaining this. Hopefully that made sense. And thanks everybody for watching.